Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Syawaz Samsudin and I'm going to show you how to answer the question number 1 and number 2 in the group assignment. So let's read the instructions. Ms. Rose has asked you to do some preliminary analysis of the data in the loan Innovator database. We need to count the number of failures in the MOA test data. So the question asks us to find the failure. How we going to answer? We open the data and then among all these 3,000 tests, we need to find which of them is failed. As you can see here, some of them is failed and then we need to count how many of them. How are we going to answer that? We're going to use the COUNTIF function in this Excel. So the formula is COUNTIF equal COUNTIF, open bracket, put the data range, comma, and then we could fail, and then we close bracket. Then we put enter. The answer is 54. So out of these 3,000 tests, 54 is failed. The failure rate is 1.8%. So this indicates that the mower is reliable since the pass rate is 98.2%. Now let's move on to the second question. Ms. Rose has provided you with the prices for loan Innovator products for the past 5 years. Here the question gives us year, mower price, and total price, tractor price for each year. She wants you to create a new worksheet in a database to compute gross revenues by month and region, as well as worldwide totals for each product using the data in the mower unit sales and tractor unit sales. So the question asks us to find gross revenues by month and region for both mower and tractor. How are we going to answer that? First, next to the data given for unit sales, we need to create a new table consisting of month and region and worldwide total. So here inside the data contained is all here is gross revenue. So actually to answer this question is so simple. We just need to multiply the unit sale with the mower price for each year. But if you want to do it manually, it's going to be a hassle for us because we need to type it manually for each table. So to make things easier for us, we can use the XLOOKUP function in this Excel. So the formula, so here is the formula, and then once we get the first data, we just need to drag the data all the way until worldwide, and then we drag again down, fill all the data, all the tables, and here we get everything is ready for us. So the question asks us gross revenue, right? So here 900,000 gross revenue per month for North America in January, for South Africa, for Europe, Pacific, China, and totals for every regions. Okay. So from this result, we can tell Ms. Rose can understand that sale performance of the more products over the 5 years, and she can identify which market contribute the most to the revenues for the company. And then the same formula we're gonna apply for the tractor. Here you see, I did it already. So from here, Ms. Rose can see all the gross revenue for both mower and tractor unit sale, so she can identify which region contribute the most to the gross revenue.
Today, I will present our analysis of Loan Innovator overall business performance and market position. To evaluate the company performance, we analyze 5 key areas: dealer satisfaction, end user satisfaction, complaints, mower unit sale, and one-time delivery. Dealer satisfaction. Let's begin with dealer satisfaction. The dealer satisfaction survey measures how satisfied dealers are across different regions from 2021 to 2025. Starting with North America, dealer satisfaction showed continuous improvement throughout the 5 years. By 2025, the highest satisfaction reached scale 5, indicating that dealers were very satisfied with the company's product and service. For South America, we observe a similar positive trend. Dealer satisfaction gradually increased over the years, and in 2025, the survey also reached the highest rating of scale 5, showing significant improvement. In Europe, dealer satisfaction remained relatively stable. The highest satisfaction level was recorded in 2024, reaching scale 4, and this performance was maintained consistently throughout the period. Moving to the Pacific Rim, dealer satisfaction also remains stable. The highest rating achieved was scale 4 in 2025, showing that dealer relationship continued to improve. Lastly, China only started collecting dealer satisfaction data in 2023. The survey showed a gradual improvement, increasing from scale 3 in 2023 to scale 4 in 2025, indicating positive growth in dealer satisfaction. Overall, dealer satisfaction improved across most regions, especially in North and South America, suggesting stronger relationship with dealer over time. End user satisfaction. Next, let's look at end user satisfaction, which measure customer satisfaction with loan innovator products. In North America, customer satisfaction steadily improved throughout the 5 years and reached the highest rating of scale 5 in 2025. For South America, the highest satisfaction level of scale 5 was first achieved in 2022, while 2025 both scale 4 and scale 5 were recorded, showing that customer satisfaction remained high. In Europe, customer satisfaction reached scale 5 in 2022. However, from 2023 onward, the highest rating shifted to scale 4, suggesting a slight decline, although satisfaction remained generally positive. For the Pacific Rim, customer satisfaction stayed consistent throughout the 5 years, with scale 4 remaining the highest rating. Similarly, in China, data was available from 2023 onward, and scale 4 remained the highest rating throughout the 3-year period, showing stable customer satisfaction. Overall, customer satisfaction remained positive across all regions, with North America showing the strongest improvement. Complaints. Now let's discuss the complaint analysis. The chart compares the total number of complaints across all regions from 2021 to 2025, while China data begins in 2023. The results show that North America recorded the highest number of complaints in 2025, followed by Europe. This is likely because these two regions also have the largest customer base and highest sales volume. On the other hand, China recorded the fewest complaints mainly because operation only started in 2023. Although complaints increased in some regions, they should be evaluated together with sales performance to provide a more balanced view of customer service quality. Mobile unit sales. Next is mobile unit sales. This chart illustrates total mobile sales across all regions. The analysis shows that North America consistently recorded the highest mobile unit sales from 2021 to 2025, demonstrating its position as loan innovator's largest market. Europe ranked second in sales throughout the period, while South America and the Pacific Rim contribute moderate sales. Meanwhile, China recorded the lowest sales because sales activity only begins in 2025. Overall, the sales trend indicates continuous business growth with North America remaining the company's strongest market. One-time delivery. Finally, let's look at one-time delivery. This chart compares the total number of deliveries with the number of on-time deliveries between 2021 and 2025. The results show that both delivery and on-time deliveries increased steadily each year. The lowest delivery performance was recorded in 2021, while the highest was achieved in December 2025. There was a short period during the third and fourth quarter of 2024 where delivery performance remained relatively stable. However, performance improved again throughout 2025. This indicates that Loan Innovator has continuously strengthened its logistic and supply chain operation, resulting in better delivery performance and greater customer satisfaction.
Hi, I'm Badris, and I'll be walking you through question 4, where we were asked to provide a descriptive statistical summary of the 2020 customer survey data. This survey collected 200 responses from customers across all of non-innovators regions, rating of 4 attribute on a scale of 1 to 5, quality, ease of use, price, and service. To generate this, we use Excel data analysis toolpack, specifically the descriptive statistic tool, and ran it separately on each other of the 4 columns. Let's go through what we found. First, quality had the highest average rating at 4.4 out of 5, with a standard deviation of only 0.76. That low standard deviation tells customers were pretty consistent in rating highly quality. There wasn't much disagreement. Ease of use came in next at a mean of 4.17, and service was close behind at 4.14. Both attributes also show fairly tight standard deviations, so customers generally feel positive and consistent about these two. Price, on the other hand, had the lowest mean at 3.67 and the highest standard deviation at 1.07. That's the biggest spread of all 4 attributes, which tell us customers are not only less satisfied with pricing, but they also less in agreement. Some customers feel fine about it, others clearly don't. We also look at skewness for all 4 attributes. and every single one came out negative, meaning the distributions are skewed to the left. In plain terms, most customers are rating things fours and fives, with just a small number of low scores pulling the average down a bit. That's a good sign overall. It means satisfaction is generally high across the board. So, if we had to draw one takeaway from question 4, it's this. Quality is Lawn Innovator's strongest asset. Customers consistently rate in high. Price is the clear weak point, both the lowest average and the most disagreement among customers. That's a signal that management should look more closely at pricing, strategy, or perceived value for money.
Hi and peace be upon to everyone. My name is Muhammad Husni Shakirin bin Sulaiman, and today I'm going to answer question number 5. First, before we jump into the number, we set up two hypotheses. Okay, null hypothesis, we assume that all attribute in terms of quality, ease of use, price, and service were rated equally by the customer. And the null hypothesis was that at least one attribute stood out as a significantly different. Now, when we run the hypothesis, so the result were definitive. The attribute score average of in a rating ranging from a high of 4.40 for price and a down to 3.60 for price. Now, statistical test return a p-value that is essentially zero, which is far below from our significant level of 0.05. Now, we confidently reject the idea of this rating are equal. There is a highly significant difference in a customer perception. So customer view the quality as a major strength, but the price is very significantly behind the other attribute and represent a clear area for improvement. Next, we want to talk about the defect data has changed significantly over the 5 years from 2021 to 2025. Now, again, after we test, the null hypothesis that we assume was that the defect level remaining completely stagnant over the year. And the alternative hypothesis was that a significant change has occurred. Now, looking at the yearly average, the trend line is striking. In 2025, the average was 826 defect per million item. By 2023, that has dropped to 786. By 2025, it plummeted down to just 496 defect per million. Now, our statistical test yield another incredible p-value like completely has rejected the idea that this drop was just a random fluctuation. Now, the data has changed significantly. Okay, it's a steady downward in defect over the last 5 years, showcasing a massive improvement in operation quality control.
Moving on to question 6. This question looked at a concern the HR director raised, high turnover among field service engineers, and asked us to use regression analysis to see whether years of education, college GPA, and age at hiring have any effect on how long an employee stays with the company. We had a sample of 40 field service engineers hired 10 years ago, and we ran a multiple linear regression using Excel regression tool with years with the company as our dependent variable and education, GPA, and age as our three independent variables. Here's what the output gave us. The regression equation came out to years with company equal negative 2.074 minus 0.067 times years of education plus 0.68 times college GPA plus 0.29 times age. Now, the first number to look at is R square, which was 0.15. So only about 15% of the variation in how long an employee stays is explained by these three factors combined. That's a fairly low number, which already tells us these variables aren't the whole story behind retention. Next, we check whether the model as a whole is statistically significant using the F-test. Our hypothesis was that all three coefficients are zero, meaning none of the variables matter, versus the alternative that at least one of them does matter. The significant F value we got was 0.11, and since that greater than our significance level of 0.05, we failed to reject the null hypothesis. In other words, statistically speaking, this overall model is not significant. We can confidently say education, GPA, and age taken together actually predict retention. But it's worth digging one level deeper and looking at each variable individually. Years of education had a p-value of 0.85, not significant at all. College GPA had a p-value of 0.7, also not significant, but age had a p-value of 0.038, which is below 0.05. So, age on its own is statistically significant, and the positive coefficient of 0.29 tells that for every additional year of age at the time of hiring, an employee tend to stay about 0.29 years longer. So, to wrap up question 6, education level and college GPA don't show any meaningful relationship with retention in this data. Age at hiring does show a small but real positive relationship. Older hires tend to stick around a bit longer, but because the overall model only explains 15% of the variation and isn't significant as a whole, we recommend that Lawn Innovator HR team look beyond these three factors. Things like compensation, job certification, workload, or career growth opportunities are probably playing a much bigger role in turnover than education, GPA, or age.